welcome back to the Cantina. Please feel free to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please feel free to hit that like button, hit that bell so you know when I upload more content, and share away here. We share away here for love for Star Wars. This is addressed to J.J. Abrams and to many people. Your theories and maybe what's going to happen is nothing but Rian Johnson fan fiction. And it doesn't fit Star Wars, and I explain why. And this is a rant, because I'm sick of hearing about it. Alright, Cantina dwellers, pull up a chair, pull up a bar stool, order a drink. There's still breakfast for sale, or some early lunch. We're going to talk about J.J. Abrams going back to the Rian Johnson fan fiction pool. So, all across the internet, even people who say they have inside information. Rey's a Palpatine. All right, did you get that from Archive of Our Own? Did you? I mean, first off, if that's the case, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And the people who even say they kind of like it know that. It's supposed to be the Skywalker saga, first of all. Second of all, why the... Is she connected in any way to Luke? I don't give a shit what they've said in the past about Palpatine being, quote-unquote, quasi Anakin's daddy. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Fan fiction, that's exactly what it is. And it's pandering to the lowest common denominator. If JJ does that, and he just proves himself just as stupid as JJ or RJ. Alright, just as stupid. We might as well just have fucking Reylo then. Alright, Luke's clone hand. You all remember that in the deleted scene at the beginning of TFA, and we've all seen it. It's a flashback where you see Luke's hand with Anakin's lightsaber in it falling into Bespin from Cloud City. Well, she was cloned from Luke's cloned hand. That's just as stupid! And it's creepy. It's retarded. Don't do that. It's idiotic. Rey Kenobi. Alright, let's talk about the Jedi. Let's talk about just how dedicated Obi-Wan was to the Jedi cause and way. What does he tell Anakin in Clone Wars? Be careful of having attachments. Jedis aren't allowed to have them. Why? Because they lead to the dark side, as Yoda even repeated in Revenge of the Sith to Anakin when Anakin went to ask him about the visions he was having of Padme dying in labor. So, if you retcon Obi-Wan to say he screwed a girl, and that girl had a baby, and that baby had a granddaughter, that's basically a bad retcon of Obi-Wan, because it's a 180 against everything that he was as George Lucas created him. All it is bad fan fiction any way you look at it. Okay? Now, everyone's freaked out or going about Palpatine being back. We don't know how he could be back. He might be a clone. He might be an evil spirit lurking around, manipulating everybody, trying to find a body that he could take over. He might be, a holocron. He might just be in a holocron. We don't know, okay? The fact of the matter is, the more I think about this, if they don't if JJ doesn't go through with what he wanted to in the first place with Rey, and I'm going to quote, Daisy Ridley said in an interview, Rey's parents were in the Force Awakens. She was amazed that no one else saw it. It was obvious to her. Okay, all right. And you guys who want Rey Skywalker, again, go back to what George Lucas said and wanted for him and his own ideas of the sequel trilogy. Forget the EU. Forget Mara Jade. Okay, if we ever get a multiverse, we will have all the Mara Jade we can tolerate. Personally, I think the character was a little overblown. I don't particularly like her, and that relationship goes against what George Lucas wanted for Luke. But romance sells to silly girls I'm a silly girl. Romance, the right kind of thing, sells. And that's why Mara Jade was introduced. Okay. In Lucas's ideas of the sequel trilogy, there wasn't supposed to be a Mara Jade. Luke was dedicated to the Jedi way. He was trying to rebuild the Jedi. Okay? That's what he's trying to do. No time for attachments. You remember what happened to Anakin. I mean, people saying, well, he wanted to allow the Jedi to be married because you remember what happened to Anakin. Yeah, I know. That's why George Lucas said, we can't let him have that, because here's the deal. It's not consistent with the character. Okay, in the EU it is, but in Lucas's vision, it's not. So, Rey Skywalker would be nothing more than pandering to the masses. I don't want to be pandered to. I want a good story. I want something that that brings a saga full circle. I don't want Rey Kenobi, Rey Palpatine, Rey the clone of Palpatine, which is... Why would the Emperor make a clone of a girl? This is Palpatine, for shit's sake. I don't want Rey Skywalker because it's inconsistent with Luke and who he was and what he was trying to do in Lucas's mind. And actually, if you think about it, it really is inconsistent. The only romance that actually made sense, Han and Leia. All right. And let me explain. And this is what pisses me off. JJ is just as culpable in the destruction of the sequel trilogy and the OT characters, Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Even if Kathleen is not involved, actually, in the daily process and the creative process of episode 9 or anything from what I've heard. I mean, she can go and say she's talking to Benioff and Weiss about their trilogy and trying to shoehorn in her toe licker, Rian Johnson. But still, she's really not involved anymore because she's a terrible leader. All right. She's terrible. She has no vision. She should be serving coffee to people. Bean counting. That's what she does. Let her do it. But JJ is just as culpable because he destroyed Han and Leia's relationship. He destroyed Han as a character. And he destroyed Leia. And then he left it wide open for this fucked up speculation by the fanhood. JJ, Bubby, what the hell? Okay? I don't remember the speculation as wild as it was back in 1980 after The Empire Strikes Back came out. Because it was always consistent why there was one vision. George Lucas. Even if Irv Kershner directed The Empire Strikes Back, and even if Richard Marquand directed Return of the Jedi. Oh, here's a little bit of trivia. George Lucas's first idea to direct Return of the Jedi was David Lynch. Think about that one. That would have been bizarre, don't you think? Anyway, so yeah, JJ's culpable, and he's got to hit a home run. And here's a list: Rey Palpatine, Rey clone of Palpatine, Rey Luke's clone hand. All of these three things are creepy, gross, weird, and just fan fiction that, I can imagine Rian Johnson or one of the story group pulling out of their ass. All right? Rey Kenobi destroys Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan goes from dedicated to watching out for Luke on Tatooine to whatever. And it's not consistent with the character, the way Lucas planned him. Rey Skywalker. Sorry, guys, but you don't know shit, and you're still stuck in the EU if you are still convinced somehow Mara Jade is going to pop up out of a cake. She's not in the movie. There's no Mara. Zori, this person that Kerry Russell's playing, is that so-called Mara character. Okay? You know, oh, let's see another one. Rey, the reincarnation of Anakin. I mean, Rey, you know, nobody. I mean, all these other possibilities are fan fiction written by some silly, stupid person who has nothing better to do than sit there and think that they can do better than George Lucas. Okay, let's go back to Luke. I have already said the reason why Rey Skywalker doesn't work is because it is inconsistent with Luke as George Lucas wanted him to be. Okay, so my advice to all of you is shut up, get out of the weeds, stop speculating. We don't know. What I saw in the trailer was, and looking at TFA through the whole thing, remembering what Daisy said about her parents being in TFA, Adam Driver, who probably didn't realize what they were doing, with TLJ saying Rey was a princess hidden on Jakku for her own good, her own safety. That was in British GQ before TLJ came out. There's all kinds of evidence that they're brother and sister. Now, the only people who don't want to see it are the people who are caught in the weeds and either have a problem with Han and Leia, or so enamored of making Luke to be this Jedi that he's not. I mean, I'll leave you with this. There was a class of Jedi that were married. They were Corellian. They were called the Green Jedi. They broke with the main order on Coruscant and had their own order in Cornet City. When they fell, and it was during the Order 66, it was quite the thing. Now, here's a possibility. This is just something I pulled out of my ass. Who's Corellian in this thing? What's the Han is? How do we know that there isn't a Jedi that there isn't a Jedi granddad, great-granddad in his background? All right, we don't know what his last name is. And I'm also going to leave you with this. Since we all know Kyle Ron was gaslighting Rey with Rey Nobody, how do we know he doesn't A, know who she is, and Han Nobody from Solo, A Soy War Story? What's your name? What's your Han? What's your last name? Silence. Solo. All right? There you go. I'm sick of the fanfic. I'm sick of hearing about Palpatine. Even McDermott said in the movie, he's dead. He's still dead. Okay? So we don't understand what that laugh is. As far as I'm concerned, he's probably a holocron. I don't know. Okay? This is Steph. I'll see you around the cantina. I'll see you around the galaxy. And be sure to tip those Wookiee bartenders 20%. Don't start any fights in the cantina because the Wookiee bouncers get pissed. No gunfights. Take that shit outside. No bounty hunters. No droids. I'll see you around. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by. Please feel free to leave a comment and hit that like button. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And please hit that bell so you know when I upload more content. And please share away here. We share away here for love of Star Wars. If you think my attitude is salty, it's because I believe in George Lucas's vision, and what he wanted for Star Wars is probably the best way to go, because he knew exactly what he wanted from the get-go. Okay, I want y'all to remember that. This is Steph signing out. See you around the cantina, scum.